Assassin's Promise by Thomas Woodward. Chapter 2. We opened the front door to the inn and looked about, not seeing anyone. The inn had a grand wooden banister that had been polished hundreds of times over the years. Its burnished length gleamed in the afternoon light until it disappeared from view up the shadowed stairway. The inn had been in Millie's family for years when I showed up, and her father treated it like a favored lover. He would constantly clean, polish, and dust any perceived imperfections away as soon as the guests left each night. There were a few regulars, but most of them would be tending their shops or hard at work at the town mill, which employed many of the town's citizens. The bar stretched the length of the room, and even its dull surface reflected the light, albeit only faintly. Bright white and blue curtains had been chosen by the innkeeper's wife, Marie. She was fastidious with her team of maids, who kept the room spotless at their mistress' command. Marie herself was full of light and joy. I could picture her pleasant apple cheeks blossoming into a smile as Millie and I would return home for dinner in the kitchen. She was always kind to me. She positively spoiled Millie rotten. She had a rare talent of blunting her husband's coarseness and brought out the best in him. Heaven help you if she was out on holiday. The maids all stepped lightly whenever she left town on an errand for fear of his wrath. The innkeeper had a hair-trigger of a temper, but was fair, although the man possessed not a whit of humor to his very bones. Seeing the coast clear, I motioned Millie follow me up the stairs into the gloom. Someone must have forgotten to light the wick of the lamp at the landing on the second floor. Millie's father would no doubt have a fit if he caught wind of it. Millie inched slowly up the stairs behind me and then bumped into me. "Watch where you're going, you big oaf," she hissed at me. "Light and sand. You would have to stop and wait on every step. Move a little faster, please." I hummed a low tune, which had the desired effect, and I heard Millie grind her teeth behind me. When we reached the landing, I scanned the long hallway that disappeared into the darkness. We were up against the southern wall of the building, so the hallway extended down the opposite direction of the length of the building, before meeting yet another staircase that would bring you to the third level of the building. None of the lamps had been lit, save one, far down the hallway, so I could barely make it out. I motioned for Millie to follow me, and she bunched up behind me in anticipation. I heard a low moan escape from down the hallway near the door. Puzzled, I pressed forward to investigate. Millie edged closer to me as we passed the shadowed hallway. I could feel her arm trembling as it brushed next to mine. The floorboards creaked heavily as we passed them, groaning under the weight of our footfalls. I felt more than saw the door begin to creep open. In my heightened state of awareness, I immediately flattened my back against the wall closest to the door, and Millie followed suit. "Then I'll be going, Master Kane. Your bed is all made up, and I have left strict instructions downstairs for the maid staff to ensure there are no interruptions to your room during your stay with us. Dinner will be served at 7 sharp. I can arrange for the private dining room for you if you wish. No? Splendid. Then we'll see you at 7 for Yes, that will be fine, thank you," the man rejoined in a hurry, then quickly shut the door, leaving Millie's father, Thane, abruptly alone in the hallway. For this, the innkeeper gave no more than one sharp intake of breath, to show how he felt about being interrupted. Nevertheless, he was a man oriented towards pleasing his customers, no matter how rude they may be. Thane gathered the wax candle lamp in one hand, and with the other gave a quick tug on his pristine white apron. With that, he rounded on us with a fiery eye for Millie in particular. "And just what are you doing sneaking around up here, young lady? I expected no better of young Master Jalmain, but you, Milhaim von Hausenvet, you are a lady." He leveled a look that brooked no nonsense with Millie, although I could feel her trembling in defiant anger. She raised her head up sharply, the beginning of tears stinging her eyes, and made as if to speak, but the cold stare of her father turned her anger into a flush of embarrassment. She looked down and made a show of sniffing loudly. I proffered a handkerchief to her while pretending to be anywhere but there. The moment passed. Thane relaxed his shoulders visibly and affected an amiable air. "Come now, children, I didn't mean all that. You know your father worries about your upbringing. Why, your mother would have a fit if she saw you poking around like a common footpad. Come. Shall we head down to make you some bread and stew in the kitchen? I bet you're hungry after a morning of venturing about." I could see her father's attitude had mellowed quite a bit, And if we played our cards right, we might be able to get him to give us some of Marie's famous honey butter cakes. My mouth watered with the prospect. Millie let herself be ushered down the stairs by her overweening father, pretending she had made the decision herself, and trying to forget her recent showdown with him. The kitchens wafted several pleasant aromas of herbs and spices, and a delightful goat cheese that peeked into view around the corner from us. Fresh loaves lay golden and brown on the stove, having been recently removed from the oven. Peter, the kitchen helper, waved us in with big hands. He was a friendly man, having been taken in as a runaway orphan when he was an adolescent, by Millie's father and his wife here at the inn. He made his keep by helping Marie in the kitchen and working in the stables, although he preferred to stay out of sight of guests when he could. Several of the maids had their eye on him as a prospective suitor, before learning he had no family and no station, although he still garnered looks from some of the guests. I wondered what the woman saw in him. Sure, he was bigger than most men, and had arms as thick as most men's legs, but he barely ever spoke. I still remember him serving up a group of travelers one night at the inn. One woman's gaze positively danced when she saw him. I still remember the feral look those large dark eyes had held. I felt sorry for him. It must be hard having to constantly deal with that kind of thing. Me, I just wanted to explore. I wanted to see the world, see the great cities of the far reaches, and the fabled cloud city of Kaibar to the far north. I vowed to someday meet an emissary and have them take me with them to see it.